So I went to work after making that other video and I missed my ferry, which comes once a half an hour. So what do you want to talk about today? Guitar playing stuff. Musical phrasing. Kind of important, right? We're guitar players. We play music. Sometimes, I don't know, if you're guilty like me, you might be a person who sometimes picks up the guitar, starts playing, and you just start playing utter nonsense that doesn't really, how can I say, yield any satisfaction in your life once you put down the guitar. The guitar is a very technical instrument. It's a very physically demanding, well, all instruments are physically demanding, but I feel like the guitar has more components and moving parts, if you will. Let me give you a little background, something to look at. It has all of these different components to it. I don't know. I know a couple people who, play other instruments like trumpet, a couple of brass instruments, It seems to me that these instruments have less moving parts than a guitar. Like the guitar, something like a harp, piano, drums, playing a whole drum set. These things have a lot of moving parts going on with them, right? So what happens is it could be a little bit challenging at times. Approach this thing and try to practice it and get good at it, which is why I dedicated a whole channel, a whole project in my life to try and help people to get better at this. Because it's so technical of an instrument, and that's a humongous salt pile. That's on Staten Island. Humongous salt pile that they use in the winter. Anyway, said I'll give you something to look at. It's such a technically demanding instrument that it gets easy at times to pick it up and just noodle and just chug away at different nonsensical things like physical techniques, physical gymnastics, finger gymnastics, picking gymnastics. While it's nothing wrong with that, that's part of what you need to be able to physically play this instrument and to be a musician on the guitar. Being able to do all that stuff doesn't make you a musician. And my philosophy towards the guitar of itself is that music first, technical prowess afterwards. So if you have technical prowess, that's great. I have a little bit of it, not so much compared to some other people. But what I think I got on them is I have more musicality, the musicality factor. Whereas they're more proficient with the physical aspect of the guitar, which I respect massively. I care about music more. I first started to get interested in the guitar because music is awesome. I wanted to make music. I wanted to copy music that I heard. And then once I started to play a little, I said, hey man, maybe I can make some of my own. And that just got me hooked. Music and then physical prowess. Simple video today. Just what I wanted to talk about is when we play, let's try to focus on being more musical. Every single time you pick up the guitar, even if you're practicing a little, technical, whatever, you're picking, and you're practicing your alternate picking, or you're practicing your strumming technique, you're practicing getting better to playing with a metronome or whatever it is. Even as you do that, keep in mind always, be musical, be musical. I mean, it would even be a good idea to every time you pick up the guitar like a freak, you say, be musical. You make it a ritual. As you're grabbing the guitar off of the guitar stand or out of the guitar case or wherever you keep it. I keep it on the couch a lot because I'm a lazy bumler. That's a funny word that I made up as a kid, and I mess with my wife a lot with that one. Bumler, lazy bum, I'm lazy sometimes, and I just keep it on the couch, and it gets dusty, and my wife tells me to clean it, and yeah, sorry, ma. I'm sorry if not clean. But anyway, whenever you pick up that guitar, do your little silly crazy ritual and say, be musical. As you grab the guitar, right? Pretend this is a guitar. This is not a sponsored thing, so they ain't paying for this advertising space. Here we go. When you grab your guitar neck and pick it up, you say, be musical. That's what I'm gonna name the video, be musical. Whenever you pick up the guitar, just say be musical. I wanna try this. because I forget all the time. I pick up my guitar and say, man, I'm gonna become a dominator. I'm gonna become the best guitar player that these parts have ever seen, or whatever. Not really, but you know, like that's how I kind of used to think until I realized that I kind of suck and I'm never gonna be a virtuoso that much, you know? I try to, these days, be more musical. Like when I forget to be musical and I just pick it up and I try to be like, you know, all fancy schmancy with the way I play, I don't do so well, you know? But whenever I decide to be musical first, then even if I get technical with it and I start using tapping and I start using whatever fancy techniques, when I start doing it, but I'm focusing on music first, I'm using those techniques as tools, as methods to get out the music that I feel in my heart. That's the way we should look at it. The musicality factor first. Pick up that guitar. Be musical when you grab, this is the neck of the guitar, right? Grab it and say, be musical, and pick it up. You don't have to if you don't want to. If it makes you feel weird, don't. It won't make me feel weird because I made it up. But I'm probably not gonna do it anyway, but you know, like it would be a good idea, right? Be musical. Pick up your instrument and just always, like every 10 minutes, just stop and say, am I being musical? The guitar is a musical instrument. This is not like juggling pins. Juggling pins, it's all technique and it's to make it look flashy. And there's an aspect to guitar that's like that, and like I said, I deeply respect that aspect of showmanship and whatnot. But we're not just juggling pins. We might be juggling pins, so to speak, to be looking cool on stage or whatever for some people that are performers. But even if you're juggling pins, you have to be musical first, or ain't nobody gonna come to the show because it's boring and it doesn't make anybody feel anything. So be musical. Focus on being musical first. When you first pick up the guitar, remind yourself to be musical. And as you play, remind yourself every now and then, am I being musical? And I believe this will help you a lot. I know that it's helping me to feel more satisfaction these days by the time I put down the guitar. So play the guitar from the heart and have fun with that, and remember, be musical. Have a blessed day, guys. Okay, here we go. Gotta remember, what do I have to say? Be musical. Oh. Wrong thing, this is not the guitar. But I'll be musical when I play the guitar.